Home. It's such a powerful word. And I don't know what conjures up in your mind when you hear the word home. I know that home has a powerful impact on our lives, whether it's the home we grew up in, whether it's the home we create as adults, whether it's the home we dream of creating or the home we wish we had, homes that we've visited. They can all have such a powerful impact on our lives. And I absolutely believe that God put the desire for home in our hearts. He put a longing in us for home. And ultimately, that longing is to point us to an eternal home with Him. But I believe also that there is purpose. God has purpose for our homes here on earth. And one of them is to point people to our eternal home, to point people to the creator of home. And when home is done right here on earth, it is powerful enough to do that. And so I don't know what your home is like, but I believe it is so important that we take time out to evaluate and to look at the things in our life that are the most important. And it's easy for us to say, oh, our home is our most important, my family's my most important, or God's my most important, but we don't really show it by the amount of time and effort and reflective thinking we put into it. And so think about your home, because I am telling you right now, God's purpose for our homes is not one of anger and discord and chaos. And it is one of His purposes is that it is a place of refuge and rest and restoration and love and peace and joy in our homes. And so, if you contrast in Galatians, Paul contrasts the acts of the flesh with the fruit of the Spirit. And for the acts of the flesh, he lists things like anger and discord and dissension and fits of rage, jealousy, envy, factions, and selfish ambitions. I think I got most of that group right there. But these are acts of the flesh. When we see this in our behavior, we can know for a fact that we are acting out of our flesh and not out of God's Spirit. And he contrasts that with the fruit of the Spirit, which is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, faithfulness, self-control. And that is what our homes should be like. And there's a lot of purpose that comes out of making a home like that. And so this is just time for you to look at yourself and see what kind of home you're creating, whether you're a parent, if you're a child in the home, a teenager or a college student in the home, you play a big role too in the atmosphere of your home. And so think about how you're living. I realize that living in the fruit of the Spirit comes from the Spirit of Christ living in us. But we play a part in that. And so we come alongside, and we need to have the desire to die to our fleshly desires and to want to live in the fruit of the Spirit. And I have no doubt if you pray for that, because it is God's will that He will give that to you. It's not always easy. It's not perfect, but recognize how you're living. And recognize what kind of environment you are creating. And I'm going to spend the next few sessions kind of talking about home and some of the main purposes that I believe a home is for, especially when it comes to raising children. And three of the main topics I'm going to touch on are just the idea that everybody needs to know they belong. It's kind of like that Cheers song, if you're older like me and you know Cheers, and everybody, you come to a place where everybody knows your name and they're always glad you came. So a home should have that feeling. So a sense of belonging. Ultimately, we want to raise our children that they know they belong to Christ. But they get a picture of that by realizing how much they belong in your home and in their home. Also to know that we are worthy of people pouring into our lives. Kids need to know that they're worthy of the time and energy and effort that their parents put into raising them. We all need to know that we're worthy. Outside of any of our accomplishments, we need to know we're worthy. Once again, ultimately, we want our children to experience the knowledge that they're worthy of the sacrifice Christ made, not because of anything they did, but all because of his love for them. And they get a picture of that by seeing how we raised them. And the third thing that is really important is that we know we are able, that we teach our kids that they are able. We help them discover what they can accomplish, what they can do, and that they feel competent at certain things. So they're not afraid to go out and try things, and they're not afraid of big dreams, and they're not afraid to do hard work. So to create a knowledge of belonging, to let children know that they are worthy, and to let them know that also they are able, they are capable, they are competent. So I'm going to talk about all those over the next few sessions. So anyway, in the meantime, just look up Galatians 5 and read over those acts of the flesh and the fruit of the Spirit, and see how your home is and how you're living that out. And anyway, we'll talk to you later.